right, athlete, in this last video, we're going to give you 5 strength movements that you can incorporate into your training plan. Don't do all 5 in one day. Do them over the course of a week. So pick 2 one day, 2 the next day, 1 or 2, combine 2 more the last day. But Travis is going to walk us through these 5 exercises. Some of them you'll need equipment for. Some of them you can do at home, obviously.
Yeah, so the first one, we got the rear foot elevated split squat. So when we're doing this one, you're going to see Coach Andrew. We put a pad down there for the knee just to be safe. We should have enough eccentric control that we're not slamming our knee. So if you do not have a pad, don't go crashing your knee. Now what you're going to see here from Coach Andrew is he has his shoelaces on our roller. At your house, if you have a 12-inch box, if you have a stool, you can put it on that. The big thing is you don't want to get too high. It's going to put a little bit of stress on that back quad. Notice he's going to get 80% of his weight in his front foot, and then he's going to explode to the top, and then he's going to control down. As soon as he touches, he explodes through. Now, when you're going for speed development, the biggest thing is you want to make sure when you're doing your strength movement, the intent to move fast. There's a lot of things out there on velocity-based training right now. I know we don't have that at the house. When you guys are doing this, explode through the ground. That's the first one, rear foot elevated split squat. We do have the trap bar deadlift on here. We're going to set this up real quick. Now, the biggest thing, if you're going to implement a deadlift while you're at home, you got to make sure that you're doing it with good form. So if you've never done a deadlift before, make sure you have a coach to help teach you the deadlift.
Yep.
So what you're going to see here from Andrew, and what I love about the trap bar deadlift, you get a unique loading pattern that blends hip dominance and knee dominance. Here, he's going to grab the bar. You're going to see from the side. Now, right here, he has the lats engaged. Posterior chain is locked. We're not a macaroni noodle. He's going to exhale. He's going to explode fast, controlling the way down. Now, one thing you're going to see here is his hands are in line with his shin. Load one more time for me. And here he creates the triangle. He's going to rapidly extend his hips through. Core is tight, glutes fire, finishing off that movement. So that's going to be the trap bar deadlift. We have reps and sets prescribed for you guys on the training program attached below. Check it out, add it into one of your days. If you need help with form, find someone to teach you the form on the deadlift. Next, we're going to go walking lunge, and this is going to be similar to our warm-up movement where you're exploding through. And again, the intent is to move fast through your lead leg. Coach Andrew, good posture. Core stability is a big piece of your training for speed. So you're going to see the core is stable. He's going to explode through his lead leg, driving into that next one. Driving into the next one. Now go ahead and bring it back for me. Now one thing is I don't want that knee drive to come up at the expense of stability. So if you're driving that knee and you're falling because of it, just drive to the middle, rapidly drive to the middle, and into the next one. So you want to try to get that knee to drive through like a sprinter style, but you don't want to drive that knee to the point that you're falling backwards or falling sideways.
Yep.
Perfect.
And same thing with the other 2. You see the velocity at which I'm doing this. Okay, you see sometimes in the gym, you'll see people just going through the motions. Going through the motions. You might get stronger, but what are you leaving on the table? You might be leaving a lot of performance on the table if you're not training fast.
Yep. Now next, what I'm going to do before we transition to the sled is I want to show you guys the lateral lunge. When we do the speed work, we showed you guys some linear and lateral work. So the lateral lunge is going to be one that we love to do in here because the reality is sports are played in 3D. So I like to have a box as a reference point for my athletes to go to make sure they're hitting depth. Andrew has pretty solid mobility. So the first one he's going to demo with the bench there. Second one he'll demo without the bench. So Andrew's going to go ahead. He loads into that right hip. He exhales. He drives, returns to the middle. Core stability again is a huge piece while he's moving. Notice that left leg stays straight. Now if you have a little bit more mobility on the table, you can go to a lower box, or you can take the brakes off and hit it without the bench there, or the box there. So that's going to be the lateral lunge. Again, you play in 3D. You want to make sure your strength movements incorporate movements in all planes of motion. Last thing is going to be the sled push. Now you're running the sled push in the strength phase of this program. You want to make sure you're still moving fast, but this should be faster than your resisted sprint. So the resisted sprint, it wasn't impacting sprint mechanics. The sled push, you're going to have that good forward lean. Now your knees are actually going to imitate what we did with that hip flexor banded march. They're going to hit that 90-degree spot every time. So you're going to see that warm-up is now driving to the sled. If you can add a little bit of speed to your push, turn it into more of a sprint. But the biggest thing is, again, knees are getting that 90 degrees. And one thing you'll see a lot of athletes do, the one cue I don't want to see, is don't let your shoulders go below your butt. So you see a lot of athletes will start to get their hips too high, hands too low, and that's not good sprint mechanics. You're never going to be on the field like that. So that's going to be the sled push. We can guarantee you if you add these 5 movements into your training regimen, and the strength work you're already doing, these 5 movements with the rest that we described, with the sets that we described, you will increase your strength to increase your power output.
How you do what you do is equally important, if not more important than what you do. So make sure when you train consistently, you train strong, and over time, you'll become the fastest athlete that you can possibly be, which is the goal for all of us, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, guys, thanks for watching these videos. Make sure you download that training plan, follow it to a T for at least 3 months. You can't do this for a week and expect results. At least 3 months. Stick to the plan, commit, be consistent day after day after day. If you need coach accountability, we got you. See you guys soon.